Hi, I'm Nicholas Tarras. I'm a core developer for Alchemy NFT and TokenScript. Today I'm going to be demonstrating the token negotiator, building an attestation bridge between Web 3.0 and Web 2.0. Attestations. Simply put, attestations can be thought of as evidence that must be provided to pass a challenge. If attestations of a challenge can be provided and are valid, you pass. However, if you cannot provide the right evidence, you fail the challenge. Here are a few everyday examples of attestations. Proving ownership of a social media account by entering the correct username and password. To enter a library, you must provide an attestation in the form of a library card. When collecting mail, you may be asked to prove your address. An attestation in this scenario may be an electricity bill. There are also cases where multiple attestations are required as one single attestation. For example, if you happen to be stopped by the police for driving slightly over the speed limit, they may ask you for your driver's license and documents that prove that you are insured to drive the vehicle. These two attestations, in a sense, make up one single attestation, which is required for you to be able to drive away. Attestations, Web 2.0. Online today, you will find that you have to provide credentials as evidence to log into various applications. Some applications have reduced this effort through the use of QR codes, social authentication, and mechanisms that extend an attestation's expiry. Another form of attestation that is done digitally via Web 2.0 is the sale of tickets, where you will purchase a ticket to a concert, for example, and in return you will receive the attestation or digital ticket via an email, which you can then show at the entrance. From looking at the processes between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, we've looked at what future use cases of attestations could look like, and how they will evolve in the tokenized web, or so-called metaverse. This is where we've developed one of our latest tools, the token negotiator. We recently tested out the token negotiator with the LizCon team. This is where they created magic links or ticket attestations using our technology. Attendees who joined the event's hackathon could then read attestations via the token negotiator and build upon them to create custom experiences. I'll next demonstrate the token negotiator to you via examples we've created, covering installation, the components which are required to create the token negotiator, example websites, and how tokens can be managed with this new tool. Here is the npm package page for the token negotiator. Here you can find the source code and API documentation. For now, I'm going to navigate to the examples repository. This is where there are some working examples that can be viewed directly, or you can take a look at the example sample code and build out your own solution. You have several examples here. So we have the Hotel Bogota active negotiation, the passive version, LizCon, and some components that are required to create the token negotiator flow. I'll cover these in a moment as well. There's also, if you click this negotiator examples link, a direct link to see examples in working order. To get started with the token negotiator, one of the easiest ways to get going would be to come to this examples repository and to clone a version of this repo, or if you prefer, you can download the zip which contains all of the source as well. Once you've downloaded the token negotiator, if you change directory to the actual repo, we should see the following directories. Okay, to get started, what I'm going to do is first show you some of the actual design, and then we'll come back to show you the examples running. So first, I'll show you the token negotiator active flow. So in this specific flow, what we have is a client website, which is the one that the user would see. We have an overlay iframe, which is something we would use to negotiate tokens. So a user can select which tokens that they wish for the client to learn. But before they're selected, the client doesn't know anything about those specific tokens. And then there's another iframe as well within the overlay iframe, and this is where the tokens are stored. When I say tokens are stored, I am talking about the attestations of the token rather than the actual direct token themselves. So you can think of it as a bit of a reference to the token. And I'll also show you the other flow, which is called passive flow. Essentially in this one it's a lot simpler. There's no overlay component. We just have a client which talks directly to where the tokens can be found, or token attestations can be found. So one of the things we're going to need is the token outlet, and this is where the tokens are actually stored. If this is the first time you're running this repository, make sure to do npm I to install all of the dependencies. I've already installed those, so I'm just going to hit run start, and this loads the token outlet, which essentially is visually is a white page, but this is actually where the tokens are actually stored. So here we can see that we have a token attestation here. Okay, the next part that we need, or the next component that we need to drive this solution, is the token overlay. So we're just going to come over to here and cd into the token overlay. And again, if you haven't installed the dependencies, make sure to do that first. That will install the token negotiator, and then we will just do npm run start, which will start the other server. Here we can see that basically we have the token component, and this is actually what the client will load into its top window frame. For developers and designers, this is essentially a component that can be updated, can be changed. So you can take these graphics and serve your own token, and also change some of the copy as well. And the third part to show you this demo will be to open a new tab, and we will open up the Hotel Bogota example. And as we're using the overlay, we're going to open the passive version, sorry, the active version. And again, you'd need to do npm I to install all dependencies, and then once you've done that, you can run npm run start. Okay, so what we can see down here is this, the overlay is loaded into this actual website. So if I select it, we can see that we've got a token to select from here. At the moment, this website doesn't know anything about this token. However, once you click this button, it does learn about the meta of the token. So then we can use this to proceed to make a purchase. In this example we've created, what we're doing is using this token once selected and the website knows about it to apply a discount. So by using this token, they can receive a small discount, and they can select to use the token to acquire the discount. they can sign, and then once complete they can then make payment. In this example we've not included the entire payment gateway process, but essentially this could be where you have a payment gateway such as PayPal, Square Pay, or any of the other common payment gateways out there, or it could be that you're using an on-chain transaction at this point as well, and this attestation is used to complete this attestation and transaction process. In the example to show you, the ticket was already actually preloaded, so I'm just going to delete this token and show you an example of creating a token. Again, with this website, the ticket issuer website, this is just a mock website to generate tickets quickly, but in a full and real world process, there would be other mechanisms you'd use to create the tokens. So what we're going to do here, I might just show you, see if we can do the view source. Okay, it's a React app, but what I'll do is I'll come back to the view source in a moment, and we can have a look at the at what's going on under this page. So if I click create ticket, and then we go over to the outlet again, we can see that although I deleted the local storage, it's now come back, and that's because I selected that token there. So it's created a mock token attestation that we can then use. So if I go back to this pub page, refresh it, we can now see that we still have a token in place. Another type of use case would be when you'll want to use the passive flow. So I'm just going to demonstrate that now. So if I just do change directory into the token, into the Hotel Bogota passive negotiation website. Again, you would run npmi to install dependencies, and then we'll do npm run start to spin up this example. And this will demonstrate roughly what we just saw with the previous Hotel Bogota example. However, this version will just go directly to the outlet. So in this example, we've created some components which basically just show the update of the token. So we can see that the token's already been found and negotiated on load of the page. And we also have a free shuttle service available as a DEFCON ticket holder, for example. And similar to the other example, we can select which token we want to use or utilize, and then we can apply the discount. In this example, a developer and designer, a web team, can design their own tokens. Essentially, this would be a inbuilt or in-app designed component, whereas in the other version, in the active example with the overlay is designed by the ticket issuer. Once you have attested the ticket, you can then continue to pay now. However, I just need to check this item here. Okay, perfect. And then now I can continue to pay now. This is again just an example of an attestation that's been acquired and can be used. But in this example, we just create an alert just to show that the process is completed. One last example before ending this presentation is a concept that's being developed and will be added to the examples very soon of how potentially tokens would be managed before being shared across to other third-party as mentioned, yep, this will be added very soon. We're going to just probably add a few more bits to this example before we upload it. This uses 3JS, which is a beautiful library for creating 3D apps, dApps, web applications. In this example here, this is just conceptual at this moment. It's not using token negotiator yet, but will be. And this is using mock tokens essentially to display what we can see here. The idea would be that you connect to your wallet that contains your POAP tokens, and then once connected, the POAP tokens that you specifically own would be shown on screen. Here's an example of potentially which POAPs you might own, and then basically what you can do from this point onwards, you can select, for example, one of the POAPs, and then you can then negotiate the token. And by doing so, what you'll be doing is creating an attestation image of this token inside a token outlet. And then what you would do is you could do it for many, and essentially one of the benefits of doing this at this time is that the mechanism to sign, it would reduce for a user experience the amount of times that you would need to sign a signature by creating a soft attestation. So you could visit many websites that are using the token negotiator, and they would only need to sign the moment they need to actually utilize that attestation, say for example in a on-chain transaction or something that's very specifically needed to do the full attestation, whilst the light attestation could be used to perhaps show a discount that can be applicable when they prove that they've got that token at a later time. Another example as well, before I finish, is that you can combine many tokens and many different chains using this method. So with the token negotiator, you could take tokens from Polygon, Ethereum, and perhaps other blockchains potentially in the future, and you can create attestations for those tokens, as well as Web 2.0 tokens, and combine those together to create a new type of attestation that might drive a new user experience that we haven't seen today, allowing for very, very custom user experiences as we do work towards the concept of the metaverse or the tokenized web.